Hey, everybody, welcome back to Be Real Media. My name is Jason James. Today, we're going to be diving into a controversial topic that's been making headlines. Trump, he likes to make these bold moves and these bold statements. He recently announced about potentially reopening up Alcatraz as a detention center for illegal criminal immigrants. Um, and let's just take a look at this clip.
It represents something very strong, very powerful in terms of law and order. Our country needs law and order. Alcatraz is, I would say, the ultimate, right? Alcatraz, Sing Sing and Alcatraz, the movies. But it's right now a museum, believe it or not. A lot of people go there. It housed the most violent criminals in the world, and nobody ever escaped. One person almost got there, but they, as you know the story, they found his clothing rather badly ripped up, thing strong having to do with law and order. We need law and order in this country. And so we're going to look at it. Some of the people up here are going to be working very hard on that. And we had a little conversation. I think it's going to be very interesting. We'll see if we can bring it back in large form, add a lot. But I think it represents something. Right now it's a big hulk that's sitting there rusting and rotting. You look at it, it's sort of, you saw that picture that was put out, it's sort of amazing. But it sort of represents something that's both horrible and beautiful and strong and miserable, weak. It's got a lot of qualities that are interesting, and I think they make a point.
So I believe the idea is to repurpose the infamous Alcatraz prison as a holding facility, because you got all the millions and millions of criminal illegal immigrants. We're not talking about the women and the children who just crossed the border. Yeah, I got that's illegal. However, they do not belong to go to Alcatraz or any prison. In that case, that's just my personal opinion. But my point is, Alcatraz prison as a holding facility. This is a very, very bold move. But again, and like any major, let's say, policy proposal, right? It's going to have its pros and cons. So I just want to break it down. Okay. First, let's talk about why some people might like this and think that this is a good idea. Well, for starters, it would be a deterrence factor, right? Using a place as notorious as Alcatraz could serve as a major deterrent. This island prison is famous, right, for housing some of America's most famous criminals, right? And that actually has a reputation that could send a real strong message, right? It has symbolic action. For those in favor of strict immigration policy and, let's say, controls, this move could symbolize a serious commitment or let's say a serious commitment to tackling illegal immigration and crime, right? Being strong on crime. That's just what his whole campaign was about. Um, another thing I see is as the third one would be utilization of existing infrastructure, right? From a practical, but the point, however, look, from a practical standpoint, using an existing facility, it might actually seem cost effective compared to building a new detention center from scratch. But again, it's going to have its pros and cons, right? As with any complex issue, there are also significant downsides to consider. Number one, logistical challenges. Alcatraz hasn't operated as a prison for decades, right? So look at it like this: retrofitting it to meet modern standards, it could be more trouble than it's worth, right? Second, human rights concerns. The proposals raise serious human rights questions. Using a facility with such a dark history might be seen as inhumane and could violate international standards. Next is the legal and ethical implications. Look, ever since Trump took office, of course, the other side of the aisle is going to, I believe he already has probably close to 1,000 lawsuits already on his desk. But you know, there's going to be legal and ethical um, implications. There's going to be legal battles. That's not a secret, right? Over this decision, especially because of human rights organizations likely to take, uh, uh, to challenge this into court, and of course, international relations, right? Because this move might affect the United States' image and could be perceived as overly harsh, right? Impacting diplomatic relations, which is not good, of course. I definitely want to get your thoughts below. Do you think that Trump should use Alcatraz to send criminal illegal aliens? We're not speaking about the innocent women and children that came over and just crossed the border. Yes, that's a crime. I got it. But that's the only crime they committed. So I don't believe that they should go to Alcatraz. That's my point there. Um, However, they did commit the crime because they did come through the country illegally. However, if you are a hardened criminal, I just want to see where your stance is. I want to get a feel for my audience and where they stand. And just comment below. Tell me what your thoughts are, because your opinions matter, right? Again, now, as always, um, thank you for tuning in. If you watched the from the beginning to the end, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time you're watching my content and you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay informed and think critically.